Hello, howdy, sup, alright mate, aloha, g'day! This is Travel Tuesdays for Foodie fans. Bryce Morrison is your host and I'm Carla, your colorful commentator. However you greet your friends, we're excited you're here for the journey as we take you across these United States and around the world to find the very best in food and wine. Join us every Tuesday as we interview foodie travelers, award-winning bartenders, restaurateurs, and more to find out their go-to bars and restaurants and how to find them. Enjoy the show!
And now, part two. Obviously, you weren't born with you weren't gifted an easy bake oven when you were young.
No. If my mom is watching, I'm still bitter.
What? Everybody's failed at something. What's your biggest foodie disaster in the kitchen?
I do not know how to make a souffle.
Oh man, come on now. You're raising the bar kind of high there. Souffles are hard.
I love souffles. Like, I love going places and having a souffle. So that's one thing that I really want to figure out. But I'm a patient cooker. Like, so it doesn't all have to be done like super quick. So I'm willing to wait and learn. But I'm a recipe follower though. So I'm not inventing stuff. Like, that's a big, like, I have no interest in inventing my own recipes. I have no interest in figuring how to do those things. For me, I'm totally fine with you come up with a recipe and I'll try to make it.
Nice. I'm the creative one. Carla likes to actually follow recipes. She does some creativity too, especially with her cheesecakes. But normally, if it's a recipe that we want to come out the way the recipe says, Carla is going to make it. I can't do a recipe. Even my cocktails, she does the cocktails now because she follows the recipe.
Well, it's more because I'm the baker.
Yep.
I bake more. When you bake,
as a baker, you follow recipes to the T.
You can't eyeball the flour. You're gonna get,
No, it's science.
Yeah, it is. So
that stuff's not gonna rise if you don't put the right thing in it.
Yeah. So that's why he's more creative with the meal food, the main.
You sound like my dad, like the cooking, not the baking. My dad is more willing to try the cooking stuff and, try different spins on it. I'm not that person. Give me a recipe. It took me like 5 years to get over touching raw chicken. So I was more of a shake and bake girl when I started. So I could use the tongs, pick it up, bag, shake it, take the tongs, put it on the pan and be done. Now I've got the gadgets and gizmos and I'm willing to try more things.
What's your favorite gadget or gizmo?
I am obsessed with Pampered Chef. Not gonna lie. I love all of their gadgets. And my absolute two favorites, because I don't have one, I have two. There's one that it's a little square and it's got the blades for chopping things, cube things for you.
Okay.
Perfectly. So I'm going to chop every little thing. That's a game changer. And then the other one is the what is it? A food compressor? Is that what it's called? I don't know. They have this one where you can put it all in there. It's another thing for chopping. I cannot cut onions. I refuse. I always buy them cut. But anyway, they have this one thing. It's not electric. You can throw anything you want in there and it'll do like your pico de gallo and stuff like that.
Okay.
Amazing.
Like a quick chopper kind of thing.
Yeah. We took one. So in Mexico, their idea of salsa is very different than our idea of salsa. Like what we call salsa, they call pico de gallo.
Right.
Their salsa will kill you.
Not
so good for you.
I like spice.
I like a little bit of spice. That's not a little bit of spice.
Yeah.
So after we went the first time, the next time we took them the Pampered Chef one because all we wanted was pico de gallo. We're like, please stop giving us salsa. You're trying to kill us. And they didn't have running water the first time we went. So we're like, we cannot have that anymore.
Now, where was that? Where in Mexico was that?
It's about 3 hours outside of Veracruz. You have to go like over 3 mountains to get there. It's a little place in San Felipe called Usila. And my church goes there and we're going again this July. So we try to take things to them every time we go.
Very nice.
Things they couldn't get or whatever. But because we like pico de gallo, and the first time we went, they had to chop everything themselves. And, we didn't know that because for us, we just go to the grocery store and buy a jar of the stuff. when we found that out this last time, we took them that, and the ladies were like, "Oh my goodness!" Like they were so excited.
What's the biggest disaster you've ever had in your destinations? You know, not in your kitchen, but in somebody else's kitchen. What's the worst you've ever encountered?
England.
Oh,
I am not a kidney pie fan. That is for
Okay.
damn sure. I will never ever eat that again.
kidney pie.
Kidney pie. It is not. No. I love their fish and chips. That was fantastic.
Sure.
I ate a couple other things that I don't really remember because that was like 2002. They were phenomenal.
Bangers and mash.
Bangers and mash. Yes, I do love that. But I will never eat another kidney pie as long as I live.
You know, it's interesting.
Or blood sausage.
What's that?
Blood sausage.
Oh, blood sausage. Yeah.
That will never happen either.
So, just so you know, since it has been a while, one of the pushes for the UK Tourism Board is towards expanding the food culture in that area, because they recognize that people do travel based on food now, and they understood that they had a poor reputation in that area. They're working hard at helping people to understand that you can find good food in there. So there are actually foodie adventures there. Yeah.
You know what?
A lot of it's based on the local areas, not necessarily London.
I'm sorry. I know I said gadgets and gizmos, and Angie wrote, and who's it's and what's it's galore. and then Angie. I just pie and Angie put up a puking face. I'm sorry. There was really good food. Surprisingly, one of the best things we ate in London would upset anyone from England was their Chinese food.
No, you know, when Carla and I were in Sydney, Australia, there's a huge population of Asian people there. It's just, you can find great food of all different nationalities everywhere you go.
For sure.
I mean, right here in Orlando, we've got Vietnamese food.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
So
Orlando, I would say it's hard to find I have found the Cuban restaurant of my choice here, but it took a good number of years to find it. But Orlando definitely has a very eclectic bowl of food. Like you can find just pretty much everything here. And we've tried, my friends and I who are daring to have tried a great number of different places here.
You have to share the wealth. What's the Cuban restaurant?
It's called Cuban something, honest to God. But I used to work off of OBT and Sand Lake.
Okay, yeah.
It was had a credit union I worked at over there.
Is it right there on Sand Lake?
Right there on Sand Lake by the garden.
Yep. I know which one you're talking about.
The best. Ropa Vieja in all of Orlando.
I enjoyed the food there too. I can't think of the name either. It's been a while.
Pastelitos were on point. I used to go there for their empanadas, their Ropa Vieja, their pastelitos. I'm like, this is home.
All right. So let me ask you this. If you had an extra $1,000 a month in your budget, how would you use it?
First, home repairs.
Okay.
There's always something. And second would be weekend getaways. I would love to fly out every Friday night and come home every Sunday night and go someplace in the United States. And even if it was like you only got one solid day there, just go and visit the different states. I feel like we have so much here stateside to see that people don't pay attention to. And don't get me wrong, like any opportunity to leave this country and go to another country, I'm in. In the United States, I have found some real gems. Like I could probably spend every weekend in Savannah just eating.
Savannah is nice.
Savannah has some of the most amazing all-American dishes in some of the best places.
The last time we were there, we found a great speakeasy. I wish I could remember the name, but I found it looking for some place to have a drink. Then we started wandering around trying to actually find the entrance. And it's in this alley we're walking back and forth trying to find it. And I see a whole bunch of people down this alley. And I'm like, why are they over there? So I walked down the alley, and sure enough, that was where the entrance to this place was. And it was packed.
Yeah.
And for good reason. It was great drinks.
There's a place called the Pink House.
Okay.
And it was fascinating to me because I've been a banker for 20 years. It's had 3 different roles in Savannah. At one point, it was a bank. One of the most exclusive seats in the whole restaurant is inside the old bank vault, down in the basement. So that was really cool. It's a restaurant now. And then it was a boarding house for a while. And it's called the Pink House because it used to be white and the brick bled through. So it's pink now. But they've kept the inside to preserve the time period in which the house was built. And even the bar underground is dim lighting, but OMG, the BLT and the fried chicken and macaroni and cheese. The BLT is not a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. It is a fried green tomato with some kind of candied bacon on it and arugula and seasoning and stuff, all pinched together in 3 little appetizers. Oh my God.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So it's a BLT appetizer.
Yes. And then we did fried chicken, and we did the macaroni and cheese. And no offense to Miss Paula Dean, I'm sure she makes good food at home, but her restaurant did not compare to this place. The fried chicken, there was no comparison. It was incredible.
Crisp?
Super crisp, super juicy, just came apart. Unbelievable.
I honestly cannot tell you the last time I had a good piece of fried chicken. I really can't.
4 hours northeast.
Hey, we need to make a trip.
I'm down.
So speaking of trips, have you ever traveled for business? I know that you have a few different businesses that you have worked with. You're doing some planning, right?
I am doing some planning. That's the Tula 12 in my name. And a lot of my trips have all come because I'm a big time planner, both with my faith. My pastors always taught me to speak things into existence. I will write things down and be like, oh, I'm going. A perfect example was China that I just went in December. I had friends that live there, and I kept saying, I'm going to go. And they were like, yeah, okay. And finally, when I had seen them last April, I was like, okay, I'm going for New Year's. And they're like, did you buy a ticket? I'm like, no, but I'll be there for New Year's. Start making plans. And that's where I was for New Year's. So I've always been a big time planner. I went to Sugar Land, Texas for an awards event with my makeup business last year in December. Haven't really traveled with Tula yet or for mortgages, but the photography has definitely given me more reason to travel so I can get pictures worldwide. Just recently started listing prints for sale. I want to make a thank you card collection. So I'm getting some quotes so that people can buy my pictures on a thank you card to send out for business and stuff.
Nice.
Stationery.
So as far as the I love this one. Sugar Land, Texas. What how long were you there?
I was there for 4 days.
So you had to have found some food.
I did find some food. We ate at the conference a lot, so I won't say that we got to try a lot of food, but we did get to this breakfast place right in Sugar Land. The name escapes me, where they made the most amazing waffles. Right up there with waffles in Brussels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can't remember. You can't tell us what it was.
I'd have to look. Dear God.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. When you're in all of these amazing places, Shanghai, for example, how do you find great food?
I ask the locals a lot. I'm a big ask the locals, where do you go eat? Where's your favorite place for dinner? Because if the locals are willing to eat there, then it's real. I'm not a person that will eat at chain food if I can help it at all, unless it's local to that area. Because I also went last August to Kansas City.
Okay.
And the barbecue.
Yes.
Holy moly.
Did you go to the gas station? I can't remember the name of it.
I did not go to the gas station, but I did go. So the bus driver of the hotel, they have a chain there that's very popular. But bus driver was like, that's where the tourists go.
Of course.
I was like, where do you go? He was a big dude. So I was like, I know you know where do you go eat your barbecue? And he took us there. We literally sat there for like 2.5 hours just trying to eat the food because
that's the best.
We ordered like 4 plates and we had baby back ribs. We had the barbecue chicken. We had pulled pork. We had like their sweet potato casserole. We had their cornbread. They did this crazy French fries. I gotta get you the name.
Have you ever been to Memphis?
I have been to Memphis many years ago.
There's a place in Memphis called Rendezvous, and it was the same way for me the first time I was there. I sat there for hours eating that. Oh, it was so good.
Hog, jaw, Q, and brew.
Hog, jog, Q, and brew.
Like jaw?
Oh, jaw.
HAWG, hog, jaw, Q, and brew.
Nice.
I mean, I don't know if you can see the pictures, but those were the ribs.
Oh.
Hold on. That is their tater tot, pulled pork, French fry, something or other.
So it's like nachos with tater tots and pulled pork? Ah, that sounds amazing.
They did a baked macaroni and cheese.
Nice.
Why
is it barbecue places have such great mac and cheese?
I don't know. But it was lunch hour and we were like the only ones there. So we sat there because a lot of the guys that work locally, they're very industrial. I would never say go to Kansas City to see anything. There is nothing to see. Nothing. But that barbecue was phenomenal. Some of the best of my life.
So if I say culinary, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Pretty food.
Okay. So we're back to the beginning. It all starts with eyes, right?
Full circle. Yeah. I think if you dare to use the word culinary, then it's a little bit something more special than just food.
Elaborate on that. When you say special.
To me, it's like the same thing as star ratings or whatever. When people talk about a culinary experience, they don't use that to describe McDonald's.
Right.
You know, you talk about an experience. Culinary to me is an experience. It's Andrew, you're killing me. Joe's Original Kansas City gas station barbecue.
There it is. Yep.
And Andrew said, but not a cruise planner. LOL. I'm a big time cruise planner. If I had done all my cruises with the same company, I would be like diamond something or other, but I've tried them all. Culinary to me is a whole experience. It's what you feel when you walk through the door. It's the service you receive when you sit down. It's the food that's presented and how it's presented to you. It's an experience. It's not just a meal. It's how it's plated. It's how it's looked. There's a certain sense of pride that comes with the word culinary. And that's one of those words I don't think people abuse very often. Like that means something.
That's a good point. I like the way you said that. People don't abuse it.
Mm-hmm.
That's very well stated because there are catchphrases, there are words out there that they get overused. But you're right. Culinary does mean something.
It does.
But I guess what I was getting at though is, does it mean pricey?
Doesn't have to. Because I could say, again, back to Disney, that you can have a culinary experience at Disney just by stopping at multiple vendor booths along one of their festivals because they pay attention to how they plate it. There's an authenticity to the recipes that are created there. I mean, I've read a lot about Disney's foods and they import their ingredients from the places that make them best. Right. So you're not just getting a plate of something with local ingredients. Like they're getting those ingredients from the places that make them, and they're having the people that cook them in those countries come here to cook them for us.
Right. Yes.
So you can get a culinary experience for $6 plus the cost of admission.
Right.
But $6, and try something that you never otherwise would have tried without leaving the United States.
How about Lee and Rick's? Would you say that's culinary?
I would, because it is an experience when you walk through the door. The service you receive, they're talking to you the whole time they're checking those oysters, and they're getting to know you. They put them in front of you with your crackers in a specific bowl, the different condiments that you use. It's not like going, for those who remember Shells, like you could go to Shells and they would take 6 oysters already chucked in front of you. Who knows how long they've been chucked. They'd put them on a plate for you on the ice and they'd serve it to you. And it may look pretty, but it was questionable.
Right.
Like Lee and Rick's has a reputation that they back up to it, and they bring them in fresh every Tuesday and Thursday. If you're a local, you know that. They come in on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they're opening them right in front of you, and they're the best they're going to be because they're the freshest possible. Like, that's an experience.
Okay, so as we're talking about that, I'm chuckling over here because my cocktails are kind of the same way. It's visual for me in a lot of ways. So I ran out of my Moscow Mule and my nice copper mug. So I asked Carla to make me an old fashioned. And I have this amazing crystal glass with a nice skull in the bottom of it. And it's just, my old fashioned tastes 100 times better just because it's in this glass. But here I sit with one hand, and out of the corner of my eye, I see Carla pick it up like this because she's so worried because they're very delicate. Obviously, it's crystal,
Because they're expensive. They've already broken too.
They are delicate. Yeah. So speaking of Carla, I would be amiss if I didn't ask you to share your thoughts on my lovely wife before we go.
So one of the things that drew me to you guys was meeting you in person. It's not even as fun over a computer as it is getting to chat with you guys in person. And Carla, I adore you. You know that. Oh, and she's wearing ears too. I think you and I just hit it off from day one. And I was planning my trip to China. And I was like, hey, can you just send me some information? And I didn't have to wait like 24 hours. And you were sending me information. I'm like, nope, that's not the right price range. You sent it back. And I believe in business and integrity. And I always try to give the best customer service to my people. So I hold very high standards when I'm asking for service. And you guys came through, and not to mention, but to mention, and I say it every time I can throw your names out there as to what you guys did for me when I was in China. Because y'all, if you haven't heard this story yet, we ended up in the worst Airbnb in China. And Carla got on Facebook FaceTime with me, Messenger. I think it was like 8:00 in the morning here in the States, to help me solve this miserable situation that we were in. We're literally FaceTiming in this god-awful Airbnb that looked like a brothel. And she got us all set up so that when we checked in. But aside from that, she's super supportive, like both of you have been, of my businesses and just checking in on what I'm doing, even inviting me to here so that, a little more publicity for me and for you guys. You guys are awesome.
Well, I am a
more about her, but yeah.
I am a huge fan of the Carmen brand. I was buying the makeup that Carmen sold, but due to circumstance, that's not something you're selling anymore. Is that correct? Until
it's I'm still rocking it.
I was buying it because of you.
Thank you.
I wasn't buying it because of what brand it was. I was buying it because I believed in you. And
yeah, I've
never owned a planner, have never had any desire to have a planner. I write stuff on Post-it notes, but I'm thinking, maybe I need to get a planner. I might.
She needs a planner. So, I'm hoping that you reform her and help her go down that path. But hold on a second, because we got to wrap it up. I have one more question for you before I let Carla give her commentary.
Okay.
When I say cocktail, you say?
When, what time, where? Where are we going?
Okay. All right. That's a good answer. I like that. It's not a cocktail. It's just, yes.
To me, it's social. My cup actually says it's not drinking alone when the dog is home.
Nice.
For me, drinking is social. So if like you say, you say cocktail, I'm like, where are we going to go hang out? Where are we going to go get one?
Perfect. All right. So I'm going to go one screen for Carla so that she can be highlighted in all her beauty. And then I'll bring you back in for a last comment on whatever it is that she wants to share with us today. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Hey guys, I have my Minnie Mouse ears on because this is fun foodie facts about Disney. And I apologize, I didn't have time to memorize everything, so I'll be reading from my notes. And my husband just told me to smile. So, cheese.
It's such a pretty smile.
Each year, Disney guests buy over 7 million sodas, 10 million burgers, and 9 million pounds of French fries. Did you know that Disney Harvest reduces food waste by gathering excess food from resort kitchens and giving it to Second Harvest here in Orlando? They feed over 1,000 children, local children, weekly. That's amazing. I love it that Disney gives back to the needy. Disney's also helping the environment. Disney guest transportation bus fleet uses renewable diesel fuel made from cooking oil and non-consumable food waste. The City of Orlando's commercial food waste collection program has diverted more than 2.25 million pounds of food waste from the landfill since the fall of 2014 by sending it to Disney. There is 5.4 megawatts of combined heat and electricity is produced in the biofuel facility. So that's pretty awesome that they're trying to reduce waste and give back to community. So I will forever be a supporter of Disney.
All right. So real quick, I was looking at Carla's notes, peeking at them because one of the numbers didn't sound right to me. She said 7 million sodas. Well, she said 75 million. I thought she said 7 million. But it is, in fact, over 75 million sodas at Disney. That's a lot of soda. So what are your thoughts on that, Carmen?
Fun fact, Disney doesn't pay for any of its soda.
Well, okay. That's something I didn't know.
So fun fact, Coca-Cola, to claim the exclusive rights of being the only brand sold at Disney, gives Disney the soda that they in turn sell for profit.
Wow. See, I love Disney. They're so smart.
Yep, but that's how Coca-Cola gets to be the only brand sold. Like if you even go to the gas stations, there's no Pepsi products.
That's right.
Just Coca-Cola products. Other fun fact, you can't buy chewing gum on Disney property.
Now that I did know. Yep. They want to keep it clean, and trash cans are at less than 30 steps away from you at any point in Magic Kingdom. What's that?
Can you imagine studying that? Like, how far will someone walk before they're no longer willing to throw something away?
You know what's interesting? It was Walt himself. He was the one who walked around and said, you know what? I want to know. And he went to other parks and studied the customers, and he counted their steps.
To see how long before they drop the trash or walk to a trash can. Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. I love Disney too. We'll have to do a completely separate foodie thing just on Disney. We'll have to
as soon as we can get back to those parks, Flower and Garden Festival. Come on. I even made my own event for Flower and Garden Festival, and I couldn't use them this year. So sad.
All right, Carmen, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you so much. This has been amazing.
Thank you. Super fun. All right.
Have a great one.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carmen.
You too. Bye.
If you like what we're doing here, hit subscribe. For more ways to be involved, or if you'd like to know more about how we can help you find the very best in food and wine, by land or by sea, check out our page at foodandwinecruiseplanners.com/podcast.